Alright, let's do it. Redemption. We are talking about this. Welcome back. If you've been here before, and you happen to see that get broken, that would have been me. I had to open it back up for some reason, and ignoring one of my own rules, just from experience of fixing, you know, one or two things in the past. I don't even know what I did with the dang pry tool. I will find it. And we're going to, let's flip over here for the time being. Did I put it in here? No. The again, to open this thing up, and it didn't treat us very well. It decided to crack. So let's go ahead and get this put back together. We got the part in. It took a little longer than expected. Not the part I was hoping for. So this will be a little longer of a repair. We've got to actually take the glass out of the bezel, lay down, clean up any adhesive that's left over after we disassemble. So let's get started on this and see how quick we can get it. Ooh, they gave us some little screwdrivers here. I think we'll go for the bigger ones. Let's go ahead. This is powered off. We're going to go ahead. Oh, another thing too, while we're here, let's see how, if it's actually going to work. We've got this cam. This is a common sight, real common sight. It's in a slightly different spot than it was, but it's so much more steady and fully adjustable on the spot. As well as that, I've got a little bit better zoom level, I think. Anyways, that autofocus is killer. Maybe we'll turn that off and just leave it. Nah, we'll leave it on. We don't use that one very much, so we'll go here. Anyhow, let's get this. We're going to disconnect the battery. We do need a pry tool, one that's not metal. Let's get our 2 and our black. Where is it? All right. Most of the stuff we're going to need for this repair is here. We've got our screwdrivers. Put that there. Get out of the way. Zip ties. Alright, let's disconnect the tape internally. Alright, the back cover is free. Put that behind us. Now we've got to disassemble all this. Remove the glass from the bezel. Maybe we can shortcut it. Let's look at this for a moment. What all do we have to plug in? So we only actually have one cable to plug in. we... For sake of not ruining something else, we're going to completely disassemble it, even though you probably don't have to. I know there's two cables right here, under this part. With that long one, the one you're seeing. Okay, so this cable is going to flip around, come over here, over, loops around, and the connector is, I believe, right here. And then there's one coming right here that shoots down, goes under this part here and plugs in. They were a nightmare getting in, that's what I said. Really kind of tough to plug in on the spot, but since we're going to be taking the glass out, they should be fairly easy to plug back into the board. And it's only that one cable, and the LCD screen also is a factor. So being that I've never did the glass on one of these, we're going to tear this down completely the whole way. We saved our screws from the slight disassembly that we had. We also have our plastic bezel piece. That being said, I guess we'll move that a little bit. I'm going to try and watch the camera. If it keeps jumping focus, we will just lock it so it hopefully keeps focus instead of jumping back and forth. I know that does get annoying. Can we go up one size and get a better fit? No. Alright, let's take a look. We've got two Wi-Fi wires, Capcom tape we can leave, magnet we can leave. Is there another magnet in the back of this case? Is this? Yes, this is the one. So this can actually be pulled off of there and stuck elsewhere for now. Alright. Battery. Alright, is disconnected whenever you remove the motherboard. We're going to pull our Wi-Fi antennas. One's possibly Bluetooth. I'm not sure if this thing has Bluetooth on it. What else do we need to remove right now? Oh, and this is a good time if you do sit and watch. Get some coffee if you have it, or your drink of choice. Tea, coffee, tea, milkshake, water. Water works. Right, we've got the mute button. Actually, let's pull that up. Unmute, I think I can do it with those keys. I'm not looking forward to disassembling this thing again, but it's got to be done. The camera really unplugged from there. It does, it does. That looks like everything minus the battery. Go ahead and pull the screws for the motherboard. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, maybe more. I don't know. We'll see. Thanks, kitty. There. We'll get you in the shot too, just for just for fun. I'm really going to try this time when putting this back together to not, I mean, I think it's kind of good that, oh, there's my tool. Yeah, here's the culprit. Me and this thing here. I'm sorry, I covered that up for the thumbnail. Do not have any logos. But this and my brain are the ones that crack the screen. The wonderful duo of me and the metal pry tool are the ones that crack the screen on this thing, so yeah. I think I said it, did I say it? Like yesterday or another stream? The sound should be a little better, a little different, hopefully. I spent a lot of time last night working on sound and a few other things with OBS. What are we stuck on? Alright, motherboard out. Yeah, see, there's those two cables that I said would probably be a lot easier. I guess they wouldn't be, though, if you just had the glass out, because you would still need to pull out the screen, and I don't know if this screen comes out from the front or not. The actual, not the glass, like when you think screen, the outer glass, not that, not the glass, not the digitizer, but the LED screen inside, what actually displays your picture. That is the worrisome one. The other worrisome thing is on this is the battery. Is it glued in? Didn't we pull it out once? Maybe? No, I don't think. I think we just lifted that up. Alright, well, let's go ahead and disassemble the rest of the frame. These are the ones we got to keep straight. I don't think they're all the same size. We're going to take one out and compare it now to one of the other ones. Okay, they actually look about the same size. Let's put this in and see if it's the same Torx size. We are using a Torx, what is it, a T5. Alright, swapping one of the screws from that held the logic board in to this corner piece here. Really looks to be the same, so I'm going to say that they are the same. Just less to keep track of. Put them all together. Hey, we got anybody out there? We do. Oh, thank you. And what is this part? Okay. Let's lay them out. There's two of them. One there and one there. We've got a sticker there. We've got to get under to retrieve one of these green screws. I think we're going to need some heat for this one, so yeah, we got sticky foam over top of it. Maybe not. Maybe we can. Yes, okay, nice. Alright, we've moved that. Let's go ahead and just stick it someplace safe, out of the way. Not about right where it goes, but different location. There we go. And we need to go down a size to get these green Torx out. pull the rest of these out. And we even have some small silver ones there. Don't look to be any there. And I think our battery's going to be a hindrance, a problem. Hopefully, if we get this undone, this back cage will come off of here. If not, we'll give it, okay, that comes out. We'll give that a go then. You know what? We may end up having to just heat this from the front to unseal the tube, but we still have the battery problem here. We got to get that out of there. Whoa. Is that really the antenna? Really now? It would seem that is the case. Alright, well, let's step down one size with our Torx and see. There we go. We need one more cut. Let's put a mark here. We have okay, oh, we've got 2 silver screws. One there, one on the Wi-Fi antenna, and then the small bronze one to try and help our future self suffer less when reassembling this thing. Man, that's a tiny screw. Okay. We're getting down into the, what is that, the apple size for screws. Let's go a little further, see if we can now lift the antenna easily, or does it have adhesive under it? It seems there's going to be some adhesive there, and there is. Really wrap around. Alright. That being the case, let's get the heat gun out. And is this glued to right? Is there a frame under it? Or I think we're going to go to Google for this one and see where the adhesive strips are. Oh, nice, we got another trim plate there. Okay. No more pieces just going to fly off from touching it. We do have, what, antenna wire there, the other one there. We've got a camera and a sensor that we don't want to cook. Let's pull the camera. I'm not sure how easy this sensor is going to come out. We'll give a slight tug. Alright, it's in there. I'm not going to tempt fate and try and ruin it. Now we got to go around the edge and remove some glass. Not being, see, here's what I'm not understanding. If that seal's there, yeah, it has to be the only way to get it out. So we may get away with not removing the battery. If we pull the front glass off, we know the ribbon cable is where? Where do we want to be careful? There to there. Alright, we've got it marked out where the ribbon is for the digitizer touchscreen. Let's get the heat out. This is the not fun part. Move some stuff out of the way and get the heat gun. Let's disconnect the soldering iron as we won't need it. Got a few things whenever heating up glass to pull it out. Remove these as well. I don't want to catch them on fire. A few things to be very cautious of. Whenever heating up glass to remove, like the outer glass or digitizers, they're often fused together on most devices, is you don't want to go too hot for too long in one spot, as not the outer glass, the inner glass on the screen. You're going to temper it from too much heat. Hot air, is that my temp? Well, you can kind of hear that, but kind of not. I'm guessing maybe you can. Once it warms up, once the element gets, it's a cheaper hot air station. I mean, it's not cheap. It was, I think, over $100 for this model. But the cheaper one's just something about the fan and the element. It gets hot in there, it gets a little warped, and until it warms up, it's fairly loud. Let's continue moving all this stuff. As we're going to be blowing hot air around, we don't want to cook any of our parts. Tools, these are nothing, we can replace them fairly easy, not too concerned, but the glass, that's where it's going to get tricky. 280, hopefully it's enough to mount our adhesive. If not, we're going to take it up a little above 3. And I don't know what the temp is on this one, if it's Celsius or Fahrenheit. I don't know, it is in Celsius, so 280 Celsius if you want to know Fahrenheit, go ahead, take a look it up. When I'm going here, I'm skipping around where the proximity or ambient light sensor is, skipping around that. Going to get this warm a little bit and see if this adhesive is going to cut loose. Not really skipping around, going over it. I'm not going to hold it in place over top of that sensor. So all right, getting warm, getting warm. Now the glass is broke. Doesn't much matter, but we're still going to try to break it as little as possible. I'm thinking we're going to have to go hotter for this adhesive to cut loose. Let's take it up. We're at what, 280? Let's go about 340. First thing I'm going to go just here instead of the whole perimeter of it. I'm not trying to keep the whole thing warm. We'll just go with one side so I have somewhere to hold on to for now. Ooh, that's a lot warmer. All right. To be fair, we could probably just go with that. Where is the bezel on this thing? This has a good amount of adhesive holding this on. I know, don't use metal on glass, and this is the culprit from last time that actually broke it. I'm going to avoid the antenna wire there, and I have another, or the antenna. I can't say that it 100% wraps around the front between the glass and the back frame, like stuck under or over the adhesive in between our front glass and our frame, but it's very hard to tell. It looks like it is under the adhesive. Still, we don't want to go. If our antenna, the adhesive part of the antenna does wrap, we don't want to cut it with the metal. So yeah, that's got to get good and hot. Always be careful. Don't go too hot with the heat, because you don't want to go so hot that you're melting any plastic, or again, tempering the glass on the LED panel behind the digitizer. Let's try and cut this adhesive a little. If I throw those out, if I did, I did. I'm going to try and lift it a little further this time. I don't like using these with it. Yeah, too thick. I've broke it too many times. Another way you could do this, which we don't have here, is with a hot plate. Basically, it's kind of like a little surface, metal top that heats up. You can heat it evenly to a certain temperature, and you let it sit on there, and the heat kind of radiates from this plate on top of the device and heats it up. We don't have a hot plate. Want to get one someday, but not in any big hurry. I've done it with the hot air station and even the handheld heat guns for years. I'm super slow too, so we are pulling through. This is cutting the adhesive, so let's try and slide down that again. Don't want to go too deep. Boy, that's some strong glue that they use. Alright, most of our adhesive is cleaned out of the right side. Let's move on. We're going to heat up the bottom. Not that the ribbon cable matters on this one, but we don't know if there's anything in that area. It would be our bottom left when looking at the screen where the camera and sensor are. It's the bottom left part of the screen, or upper right if it's upside down. We're going to heat this area. Again, we don't know if anything is here concerning the LED screen, the LED panel inside this, or I don't know what type panel it is. I could be wrong about what type, but we don't know if there's a cable there, so we're going to be careful. We're going to keep our tool slight angling it upwards as we're sliding it till we get past where that ribbon cable connector or ribbon cable is for the touchscreen. Not that we need to save it. This is the broken one. But you never know when you're going to be taking one of these off to replace the internal screen, and you got to get past it. So practice, right? Practice. We probably, excuse me, we probably could go a lot hotter too. That's another thing. And this would just lift off very, very easy. However, I have a record of when going too hot with the hot air station, I do end up tempering the screen inside. Now, it's not, there's not like a fine line like, oh, 340 degrees Celsius and you're fine. You got to hold it there, you know, in 344 degrees Celsius, and it'll temper it within so many seconds. I don't know if there is or isn't a fine line from my experience. There isn't. It's just from me being slow and dumb about it and holding it in one spot. That's when I've tempered glass. It'll get a yellowish tint to it, kind of resembling this screen that got hot and became unadhered. There we go. Alright, let's put some more heat on that. We're going to try and get more of the glue out, and we're getting on to the broken part of the screen. What fun this is going to be. We should probably save this corner till last. If you don't have access to a hot air station, and your dad or your uncle, your brother, sister, whoever, your mom, anybody has one of these laying around, an adjustable and Black & Decker's a real common one. It's a big orange gun that has kind of an enclosed handle, I think, has like a finger guard. Or even you have a decent hair dryer, you know, your sister or whoever has a hair dryer, you can heat this glue up with a hair dryer. I don't think you're going to temper the glass with a hair dryer, but you're going to have to hold heat on it for a while, warm it up good, and you could still remove it that way. You don't specifically need a heat gun or a hot air station. It all really depends on how much heat your hair dryer can put out. And a hot plate. You don't have to have a hot plate. We're getting close to antenna territory. When we get on down here, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give ourselves a guide. We're not going to go all the way in, but we're going to know that much past that line, and we're getting toward the edge of where the bezel stops and the LCD screen is. LED, LCD. We're also in, if it's Bluetooth or Wi-Fi antenna neighborhood, when we start getting down here in this section. So what are we going to break on at this time? Who wants to place some bets? Cutting the antenna. Alright, that blue needs heated back up. Oh, there's a busted up part. Well, we just had to pry. Hey. Yep, old Nick breaking the rules. Boys and girls, don't break the rules. Don't do what you know is potentially wrong and gonna risk breaking your device. How much bezel do we got? About the same amount. Let's flip our tool over. If you are doing this also, I mean, it's kind of common sense, but be careful. Be careful. This glass, when you get shards of it stuck in your fingers, it hurts. Again, we're going less with the heat in place of not risking tempering our screen inside. No smoke, no mirrors. This is, I know a lot of people say that what you see is what you get. We're not going to, wow, edit this down and upload it later. We're doing this on the spot live. Yeah, look at that. Could you, even for a second, imagine? Let's do this. We're gonna make a show out of this for the time being. Alright, let's get our adhesive hot. Nice and sticky, nice and sticky. Come on, heat. Do your thing. Alright, we got some sticky adhesive. Ooh, that's hot. Just for a second, imagine that the skinny point of that shard of glass went in your finger. I'm gonna block the screen here. Imagine that for a moment, that thin part sticking straight up went in your finger and the rest broke off. Yeah, you'd have a problem getting that out, and that's not even as thin as some of the glass can get, so be careful. Sharp glass. Common sense. It goes without saying, but I'm just gonna throw it out there too. Amazon, you've got some good adhesive here. It looks like we got a screen there. We're getting closer to our target of peeling this front off. Let's go back up and see what we can catch. Anybody out there? There it is. How you doing tonight, people? You on Facebook or no? I guess Facebook would link you over what, to YouTube? Unless I'm mistaken. Top bezel's about the same size. Let's go for that. Alright, let's see how lucky we are. If we don't end up with glass in our fingers, and we get this off without a hitch, and that gets us past where our other antenna is. So when going over the antennas, it was hard to tell. Maybe I'm just blind, but it seemed like the way this was layered was the screen, the adhesive, the antenna, then the frame. When going past the antennas, I had as well as pushing forward, I was trying to angle it up a little to keep this tool up against the glass. That seemed to work. When going on the part where the ribbon cable connects to the digitizer net, I just kept it straight, no angle up or down. Again, this could be 100% wrong on the way to do this. This is what is working for me. So there's tutorials online, I'm sure. We're not looking at one of those. We're just going off of how do you tear these apart when you've done similar devices before. Now, next question. Is the screen sealed to this? If it is, we're in trouble. Like, really in trouble. And I would hope that it's not. But I've seen stranger things, and if it is, well then, looks like we're going to need either some optically clear adhesive, some Oka, or some Loka, possibly. I don't know. I want to say it is, I want to say it isn't. I'm not entirely sure. And that looks like the edge of the screen there. This stuff is still fairly stuck down. Yeah, and guess what? Actually, I think it might be. I don't think we're pulling. We're going to have to get a screen as well, if I'm not mistaken. And this may put a stop to the video till we get a screen. Yeah. What a nightmare. Or you know what? If we can get the glass off, which is a possibility. I don't think that's going to happen though. Not easily. Not now. That lifting out? It is. It is, but it's not. Let's find out real quick, just curiosity's sake. We're heating directly over the LCD screen now, so I'm going to want to be careful. Oh yes, most definitely. So here is something that you would run into a while ago. Let's take a close look at this. You can see that we've gotten into the clear glass now. So it goes from one bezel into the clear glass over to where the bezel was on around the corner. So two parts of the bezel, and you can see the screen there. They are using the glue. So the LED screen in these is hermetically sealed to the outer digitizer. Real quick, we're going to let our heat gun run. We'll just turn the temp down. We're going to go over here and see if we can get what we need. Let's take a look. What did I say this was? Kindle Fire HDX 7 Oka. What is it? Adhesive. SCA adhesive. How to fuse Kindle Fire HDX 7. Let's view the answer. LCD separator machine. Of course, you can try plenty of other methods. YouTube is full of suggestions, but I found that the most of those damage the LCD. Once you have it separated, you will need either Oka adhesive or Loka, liquid optically clear adhesive, and some sort of curing station to adhere those parts back together. Big investment for a one-time repair, and it does take a lot of practice to get acceptable results. I'd go for a complete new assembly. Hope this helps. Good luck. Okay, so Kindle Fire HDX 7. Screen digitizer with adhesive, we don't need that. So they're saying to either buy the complete assembly, which that's going to be the complete assembly, or you can, and I'm not even going to attempt, they make, okay, basically, go back to our cam, basically they make a sheet. It would be a square sheet, almost like double-sided tape, but it's optically clear. Those ones are hard to put on. You usually got to put them into like a pressurized, something like an autoclave, something pressurized, and it'll pull all, something that creates a vacuum. It will pull all of the air out. Another way to do it is you can get, it's like a syringe where you're going to squeeze out the glue, squeeze it on, and then you're going to lay your new digitizer down on it, and it presses the glue out, and then you need a UV light to cure it. I think we're going to go the Loka route because not the optically clear adhesive, the liquid optically clear. It's in a syringe. I have some of that glue. I have the UV light for curing this. If that's the way to do it, we're going to see if the practice I got on repairing the outer glass on a few Galaxy S3s and Galaxy S5s was enough experience to do one of these. What fun this is going to be. Man, that is tough glue. The one other problem is getting all of this glass, which is not broken, off of the screen without breaking the screen. We may end up having to having to get, what did I want to say? Having to get a complete assembly. That would be the way to do it, minus battery, which we'd still have to pull that battery out. But we're going to go the challenging route, which means it's going to be 2 separate videos. With that being said, let's continue around the border, getting our glue out. We're going to try and get this whole assembly unstuck so we can lift it out of there. Already got that one. We need to go that way. Let's heat it up a little more. I think it's about ready to come out. Let's try and get a tool in here and see. Oh yeah, that is 100% on there. We have a few sticky bits around the edges, but it should, without a doubt, we can try. I'm going to go ahead and remove these couple smaller broken pieces. We'll get the heat after them. And work on getting them out. This one should be about ready. The only thing still holding, and it's not even holding. Yeah. Okay, so our screen is going to come out. Remember these little shards of glass in the finger? Yes. When you get into doing a repair such as this, where the digitizer is sealed to the screen, and it's going to break many times over when removing it, that's when you start getting into all these little shards. And fingers, hands, arms, none of it's fun. Let's do that. No matter which route we proceed down, that's going to be a lot of fun. We may have to heat that up to get that. Oh, there it goes. Okay. No matter which repair route we decide to go down, either pulling the glass off of the LCD, which is going to be interesting and a much tougher repair, but cheaper, as you can get a piece of glass, I think, for $17–20 if you're just talking the outer glass and digitizer. But you're going to spend money on the glue as well to hold it down, or the adhesive sheet to stick said glass digitizer to the screen. Or buying the whole assembly. I think you're going to have $50–60 in that. So it's cheaper to go this route, but we don't know. Don't know yet which way we're going to go. We're going to pull it apart, evaluate it, and see which way to proceed forward. Okay, so there already we've got, excuse me, we still got a little more adhesive to free the display from. It should be close. What is holding this thing? Okay, and there is our screen. We need to get the rest of this glue removed from this, which should be fairly easy now that there's no screen in the way. Let's take a few minutes cleaning this up as it needs to be cleaned up to put any repaired screen or repaired digitizer on it. And there's the sticker for our antenna. We've got a little metal thing there. That's got to go back in place. Is that really held down with it? Oh, okay, it's a little metal shim for the LCD. That's what holds it in place. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. Be careful, dummy. You should have just not broken the screen. That would have been much easier. So here are all those shims. We're going to have to retrieve those. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's count them. I don't see space for any along this edge. Just because I don't see it don't mean it don't exist. We're missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there were none on that edge. What fun. We'll clean that off later. No, what am I doing? We don't even need that stuff. Okay. We don't need that glue off. We need the glue off of this one. I just got into the zone getting those, what are they called? Oh boy. The little shims, metal shims for the LCD. Alright, so this is getting pretty boring. We're going to go ahead and clean this bit of glue off. And then we're moving on to I'm going to show you the start of the process. I don't know if I'll do all of it on camera. Maybe, maybe not. But I will at least show you the start of the process of removing the glass from the outer glass digitizer from the front. What do I want to call it? Or from the LED panel. The front glass from the LED panel. Alright, our glue is removed. A couple loose shards of glass. We've got all of those shims there. Some of those looks like they're held down with adhesive, possibly. We'll get them all, put them back in place once it's going back together. And we have some adhesive there to hold them. For now, we don't want to lose them. And that one's actually on there. We're going to leave it. Like, not kinda, like actually really stuck on. What's the story of this one? No. Negative. Yeah, that's on there. Alright. There's that. This is the process where you risk tempering glass when you get into this repair. I know I've said that a few times, but no kidding, you can do it. You have to use a more heat. And what we were up at, what, 340 before? So let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead, and especially once you start getting the glass exposed for the screen like it is here compared to here. Still got glass over it. All this has glass on it. It's exposed here. You want to try and get as little heat as possible where it's just the adhesive and the LCD. That will temper and heat up much quicker without this extra layer of glass on. It all heats up quick, but much quicker. And this is a long way to do it. Like I said, if you have a hot plate or an LCD separator machine, and they're kind of specific, you need different jigs for moving them. But here you go. This stuff is actually stuck on there. You need to get it fairly hot, and if you're prying and it stops releasing when you're removing the glass, one thing you can do is put some more heat back on it. Not too much. Once you get it to a certain temperature, it will lift off of there easy. Sadly, that temperature is real close to the temp where you're going to temper the glass. That's where it lifts off like nothing's holding it down, just kind of lifts right up. Very hot too, if I might add. Using a slight upward pressure, yeah, see? We need more heat here. And that's exactly what we didn't want to happen. Have that break partway through. However, that's okay. Let's go for the end of it down here. It's probably not warm enough. To get the big piece, we're going to need to apply more heat. Why go through this misery and suffering for this level of repair? Well, like I said, some people are cheap. I just ordered what I thought I needed. Like I said, this is the first one of these that I've actually repaired. I've never seen one of these, but that's okay. We're going to get it off of here nonetheless. Heat it up quick. Careful to not go too hot for too long. Let's attempt. Let's go back to our metal tool that breaks everything. so that's it. We have a few more small pieces there that we have to remove. Let's go over this. A few more small pieces right here we got to remove. Then we have, it looks like one big where it's spider webbed from the crack up, and then other than that, it's all one piece of glass. That's going to be the tricky one to remove. That's where we're going to use the bigger heat gun to get this nice and hot and attempt to start lifting it. It's going to take a few heating cycles. And so far so good. Not fun. If we crack the screen or temper the glass, turn it yellow, we're going to go ahead and order another assembly and get that in here and get this put back together right. I thought this was it. I thought this was going to be my redemption. It would be over. I didn't bother looking too deep into what was being repaired. Operator error, is that what that is? Alright, let's try and remove that big piece of glass from here to here all at once. Let's see what happens. Can we do it? As you lift, you should be able to see it until the glue cools down. There's a point where the glass will crack. What I'd said about when you're taking a shard of glass, one of the broken pieces off of the screen, why you want to try to remove them in whole pieces instead of pulling and it cools down and then snaps and leaves you with like a break across right here, and you got to start there or start down here. When it breaks like that, that creates a pressure point on your LCD, and it's, in my experience, it's easier to break that LCD. Another thing, don't get too crazy heating them too much too quick. They can take some heat, but they're not going to take it forever. Let's heat this glue back up quick. You should be able to see this coming off. If I got enough heat to it, I may not have. Nope, another crack, not enough heat. Let's get with that one. Not gonna happen. Let's go ahead, reheat it. We're gonna try for this last big piece. If it don't happen, we'll kill it there. should have two things going on tomorrow in the stream. This is just a late night. Let's try and fix this. However, things don't go according to plan. Here's where I'll lift off of there. I know there's been some people doing these repairs and you see them heated up and jam playing cards under there. I can never get that method to work for me. It's still... It's hot, but it's not hot enough to lift that. Not even if we go from this end. Let's try right there. A little bit more heat. We're close to buying a display assembly anyhow. There we go. Yeah, that is just miserably stuck on there. This glue's no fun to deal with, but alright, that's it. Done with that one. As you can see, we just cracked that last big remaining piece there, other than this big piece here. The last big straight, or back, like, the big part of that one that went down. Not fun. They're loose, we can get them off, but now we've got a couple little pieces, and these are the ones that are not fun at all. Anyhow, let it be known, when doing this, you will probably need more. So Kindle Fire HDX 7, HD 10, Fire 7th Gen, 5th Gen, what is this? iPad. This is the part to go for. Maybe not from this seller. Just saying, this is the part you would want to go for. You get your LCD and digitizer on the one. When we ordered, I thought I was looking at these originally, and maybe we got something different. I know it's the right outer glass, but I was thinking they were two separate pieces. I don't know why I thought that. Anyhow, this one's not, I mean, it will work, provided we can get that off there and then get it sealed back down again. But it's a tedious process. I'm not going to continue doing the stream like that. It's going to be a nightmare. Also, we got to switch to a lower heat to avoid tempering our LCD. I'm going to have fun with this. Everybody, you have a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. And check all this out before we cut this live stream, this broadcast. Look at all this adhesive for the holding the glass to the bezel. There's more too. I'm not gonna pick it all up. Look at all that glue, whatever it is. Goodbye. Everybody have a good evening. I'm gonna hop over here and take a look around and see who's got the bargain. I mean, $39.99, but where's it coming from? California. Okay, not bad. That's what, $40? HDX 7, is it used or new? Let's get down and see description. Okay, so brand new, 40 bucks. I said 50, 60. C9Rs S6QM. Country region of manufacturers, China. That's where a lot of stuff's made. So United States Postal Service, 2 to 9 days. I got my phone going crazy over here. Anyhow, I'm gonna call it here. This is gonna be fun and miserable. Like I said, we're doing it. This is a free repair thing, not a warranty repair, a free repair, kind of like a charity type thing. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. I will order in the display for that. Coming up, here's the battery. Remember the battery? We're actually going to redo this. I talked to the guy today, and let's get to a camera that's worth something. So I did talk to this guy today. He stopped in the shop. New plan. We're going to reuse this pigtail somewhere else. It's coming back off of here, and we're going to compact all the wiring for this and shrink wrap it for him to get it into a nice small package. So basically we're going to omit, everything, because this circuit board will actually fit right alongside the battery there. Our BMS will sit up here. These wires are going to go by. Not even going to have the balance lead because these will be getting clipped and wired up to the battery itself up here. So they're going to be getting wired in. Basically, these wires we're going to take them apart where they're heat shrunk together. Open it up on this end. We're going to remove the balance lead, all of the corresponding wires that would normally connect on the balance lead are going to get soldered. They'll run from here. Instead of connecting here, they're just going to connect where the other end of this connects to the 5 points that are in there. Is it 5 or 6? I forget. 5. There's 5 wires that will connect in here. These are going to go down to the board. Picture that sitting against that. With that up there nice and neat, and I'll shrunk wrap a hole cut out to be able to press that whatever that button is there. So yeah, he said that this would work fine the way it is, and it might be tough. He'd have to use a piece of Velcro instead of the 3D printed lid that sits on top of the Solo, just so anybody else that may watch, so you have some reference. A 3DR Solo is a drone. Here is our said drone. Not getting glass or anything. Puncture the battery. Here, I'll have you guys move back out of the way a little bit. I'm not going to plug a battery in and power this up. These are quite amazing for what they are when they were made. They took too long to get accessories to market. That is why I never ended up with one. Anyhow, your battery would slide in, sit down in, slide forward, and latch. You got your connection points here and here. Evidently they make a 3D printed lid that will sit on here and slide forward, and I guess it latches as well. I don't know. But just picture trying to pack all these wires bundled up all together the way it is, like that, getting them looped together, and then having all that sit in here internally. Yeah, you don't have much room. I mean, you got some room, okay, granted, you have some room, but you don't have much to pack all that into. So what did I do? Picked up 2 pieces of glass and put in here. Sorry, buddy. Didn't attempt to do that on purpose. I don't know if they stuck to the gloves or that. Let's put this back. I never owned a 3DR Solo drone, but I know the people that, the few people I've ever met that did have them loved them. Still love them. I mean, I don't even think they make these batteries anymore, from what this customer is saying, but they started manufacturing these again, maybe, or maybe they always, I don't know. I thought they were saying they were going to start making these again. That'd be great. But they're never going to put these into production again, so if you do have a 3DR drone, plan on manufacturing or having somebody like me or a friend, whoever, make drone batteries. We're going to do that tomorrow, and one other thing coming up. We're getting rid of some of the clutter. We're cleaning up. We're going to make it, well, technically this battery never was great, but we're going to make it great. And if it ever breaks, hopefully we'll make it great again. We've got that, the Kindle Nightmare. Oh boy, is this thing on wheels? Am I seeing that right? I am. Let's wheel this over. Try and not make full of where we're going to. Here we go. Let's back this up so everybody can see it a little better. That's going to be a fun one. Look at that. Look at that. Our station, our guns turned off for the night. There are handles on this thing? There is. Let's take a look at this real quick. Back up, people. And that's what we're dealing with. We've got a speaker here. Wow. There's not much room for this. We may have to fix this on the back counter. Looking this way, but I don't have room there now. Anyhow, for size reference, it's pretty big. Yeah. We've got power. It turns on. No sound comes out. This is going to be fun. I don't know what we can do, if we'll make this one great again, but we're sure going to try. I've never even seen anything like this. Check this out. I want to share this. So you got a line input, a mic input, the mix of everything out. You can send it out. Volume 1, volume 2, MP3 volume. You got a USB, SD, USB, or an SD card will go in and you can play, I guess, MP3 files off of it. Master volume, and an EQ for your high end and low end. If this is line input, this got L&R also, so I guess you could do like a 3.5. If you don't have XLR, you could do a 3.5 millimeter TRS to left-right audio in, you know, from like a phone, iPad, whatever. You could run it in there. You could go in USB, you could go in SD. Pretty neat. You have a 1/4 inch input. Never saw nothing like this. So basically, a speaker with a mixer and a MP3 player. Built in? Cool. Yeah, we're going to get to that at some point tomorrow. I don't know. I think we'll do the battery in the morning and then get on to this thing later in the afternoon. It's going to be a good time. Anyhow, have a good evening. Not much progress, but some. Maybe we'll just order the display and get it done with and quit suffering and punishing ourselves with this one here. What do you say? Just get the display. Yeah. Maybe. We're not done with it yet. We're gonna try and have some fun, man. I see a need for a hot plate. Anyhow, we will catch everyone tomorrow. Clean up and we're out of here. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.